Hello, and welcome back to Carshalton, raising the Robins in the Bostik Premier League still, but hopefully not for very much longer, or certainly giving it our best shot. So last time out we had Kingstonian, and you do find me on Kingstonian's page right now, and the eagle-eyed amongst you will see that they are actually second in the league. So suggests that we possibly are above them, but we'll have a look at the league table and how things have gone shortly. So we last met, it was 2-2 draw with them. They have been on a little bit of a inconsistent runs. They drew again against Folkestone. They did get back to winning ways against Northwood, but then they lost to Canvey Island before they got back to a couple back-to-back wins, and then another loss against Tonbridge, and then a win against Hayes and Yedding and Enfield Town. Not convincing against teams that were probably winnable games. So as you can see, we've got 3 games left of the season. I am going to do each of these games. So we're going to play one game per episode, and that will cover this week. Hopefully then it'll keep a bit of drama going, because there's still possible some drama in this season to go. So today we have got Margate, who are 4th in the league, so a real big tester for us. They've got Bishop Stortford next, who are 18th, so I mean that should be a very winnable game. But in terms of how we've been getting on, we'll go to our schedule right now and we'll look at it game by game. So after the 2-2 draw with Kingstonian in the last episode, which playlist is in the description below, go back and check that out if you need to. We managed a 4-3 victory against Burgess Hill. We went 1-0 down in this game, but Carey brought it back to 1-0. We went 2-1 down again, but Carey again brought it back to 2-2 before we again went behind 3-2. But then a Caroma penalty in 85 minutes and a very last minute final goal for Carey to get his hat-trick in 93rd minute seals us the 4-3 win. And it was actually, I think, a much deserved win. I think we were very unlucky to be in the position we found ourselves in. Well, maybe not actually. It felt like it on the balance of the game. Certainly that's what I've got written down in my notes. I played this, I think, yesterday at work, but yeah, we were basically every chance they had, they seemed to score. Every highlight they had, they seemed to score. Put it that way. And we had a lot of chances that were missed and saved and stuff. Shots put wide, stuff like that. But we got the win. That's all that matters. Next, we had Greenwich Borough at home, who I think were fairly high in the league. I think they're in the playoff positions anyway. Maybe the bottom playoff positions, what's that, like 6th at the time. But again, we went 1-0 down. We just hadn't turned up to the game, and that was on 37 minutes just before half time. Before Caroma penalty, right after half time, got us back to 1-1. And then he actually made it 2-1 as well, not even 10 minutes later, about 10 minutes later, 9-10 minutes later. Kerry made it 3-1 about sort of 10-15 minutes after that again. And they did put it back to 3-2 on the 78th minute, but we held on. A very even game, this one. We had the possession, but the shots were very even. They were a much dirtier team than us, but didn't seem to pick up any yellow cards, bizarrely. No yellow cards in the whole game with 30-odd tackles. It's a bit surprising. But the bad news to come out of this game was that Dan Adams, I don't know why I was about to say Dan Cox. Dan Adams picked up an injury, and it put him out for a month, which looked like it could be near the end of the season. But I think this game was in March actually, so maybe not. But it'll be touch and go, him being back for the run-in. Thankfully he is now, he is back for the next 3 games, unless he picks up another injury, of course. Also, something to mention in this, just after this game, we were on the last couple of months of our contract coming up to an end. They offered me a new contract. I tried to push it to 2 years. They weren't having it. They would only offer me 1. And I tried to get a parent and club link in place. Again, they're not having it. For some reason, they don't see the benefits. They don't see anything. I'm looking at it as a way of getting some free players into the squad, and B, the financial sort of possibilities we can get in as well. They don't seem to share that at all, which is very surprising. But hey ho. Hopefully if we go up a division, that will change. Next up were Leatherhead, who again were up a team in the playoffs. We had a very, like I mentioned in the last episode at the end, I think, we've got quite a tough run-in. The Leatherhead were 4th, but we did take a lead, 1-0, Ricky Corboa on the 3rd minute from a free kick. But then we went two goals down just before half time, 2-1 down. It was 2 mistakes basically. One of them was absolutely horrendous. He just stopped nowhere, got robbed, and the guy finished it, or something like that. I can't remember which goal it was, the first or the second, but they were both pretty lame goals, to be honest. Kerry did make it 2-2, and he is just banging in the goals. I think he's overtaken Caroma as the top goal scorer, A at the club, but B in the division as well. But we'll have a look at that in a minute as well. But we, at this point, I think just before this goal went in, we looked to exploit. I noticed I saw quite a few highlights actually. They were playing quite a high line, so we tried to exploit that. We went more direct, higher tempo. We started hitting early crosses, and boy did it pay off, because then Koroma made it 3-2 about 5 minutes later, and then Delaney made it 4-2, and he made sure of a game basically that we should have been much more clear. If you look at the shots, they scored 2 from 5 shots on target. We had 27 shots in total. Okay, only 12 on target, which isn't great, but you know, again, at this stage of the season, it didn't matter how we did it, as long as we got the 3 points on the board, that's all that mattered. And I think it was around about this time, I think we did overtake Kingstonian. I think they started getting a few of their draws and whatnot. We did though slip up against Worthing, and this was a, in fact, if I go here, it might even show it. It's not showing it. This was an absolute hockey pitch, this one. Just a perfect square, absolutely ridiculous pitch to be playing on. And we went 1-0 down. We just didn't cope with it at all. Kerry did make it amends though. We got like 3 minutes later. It was 5 minutes they scored. On 8 minutes we equalised with Jordan Carey. He then made it 2-1 on 37 minutes before Crowley missed a penalty 3 minutes later, which would have put us 3-1 in the lead and pretty much done and dusted really. But then the second half just flew by, and pretty much the only thing that happened was 2 corners for them at the very end, 90 plus minutes, which was pretty much the end to the game highlights, and they scored the second one to make it 2-2. On balance of play, possibly justified, but at that stage I was thinking, oh, we got a win, we should have had the penalty, he should have scored as well. You know, he's been prolific from penalties this season. He missed this one, and I think he does miss another one coming up if I'm thinking correctly, but we'll have a look at that in a second. Yeah, Brighton C, yeah, and it was this game. He missed a penalty in the next game as well, but it didn't cost us in this one, fortunately. We got a goal from Popo from a free kick. He headed in on 16 minutes, and they then equalised from a corner, which was very disappointing. They got a red card sort of just before the stroke of half time, and that did seem to not change the game, because we were quite dominant in this game, but it seemed to open up a lot more opportunities and space for us that were a bit more clear cut. Koroma missed another penalty, like I mentioned, just after half time, but Kerry did get that decisive goal, 2-1. About 2 minutes later. There's a lot of goals and penalty misses within minutes of each other, but then Kerry scored his second, 68 minutes. It was from a long throw. It just got thrown across onto the 6-yard line. Well, yeah, 6-yard line-ish, the corner of the 6-yard box, and he just there volleyed in, and the keeper had no chance. And then Delaney made it 4-1 just at the death to seal the game. Quite a tight game, but a game we deserved to win nonetheless. We then had Haringey Borough at home. After the Brighton C game, actually, we did actually secure our playoff position finally. So that was, I think, the draw against who was it? The draw against Worthing derailed that a bit, and the Brighton C game, it wasn't enough to still do it. I think we should have had it maybe before that, but some things conspired to make it not out of the realm of possibility. But that game did. But yeah, back to Haringey Borough. So they were third again, so another really tough game in this running. Fortunately at home. A Corboa free kick, which was very much against the run of play at the stage, put us 1-0 up, but the balance of play as it was going swung back in the favour of Haringey, and they got their equaliser from a corner, of course, before Hancock's actually scored a volley, and it wasn't even from a set piece. He just found himself on the edge of the box from a cross somehow, I'm not too sure, and just levered it in on the hour mark. Kerry made it 3-1 on a counter as they changed their formation and went 3 up top. They weren't playing with that to start with, but if we have a look here, I think that will show what they finished with. They started with a 4-4-2. By the end, they were playing like a 4-3-3, I think, or some variation. They had 3 strikers anyway. Put it that way. And then they did actually get one right to the death, 94th minute, which took the gloss off the result a little bit, because I felt we were good value for a 3-1 win. But again, 3 points in the board, 3 points in the bag. You know, as long as we held on, I didn't really care at this stage. The penultimate game before this final run-in was Merstham, and yeah, we went 1-0 down after 6 minutes. Again, it seems to be quite a regular theme. We seem to be bouncing back. We seem to be quite resilient in these situations. When we go down, we are able to bounce back. Popo made it 1-1 on 55 minutes. We had to wait a while for that equaliser, but then when the goals came, boy did they come. About 10-12 minutes later, Vicky Corboa grabbed one as well, just drifted inside, curled it into the far corner, before Jordan Carey made it 3-1. I don't remember his goal because he scored so many recently. He's just a fantastic little player, and he's the babyface assassin. If you look at his profile picture, I mean, Luke Chadwick in the making there. Where is he actually from? Bristol Rovers, but he's having a fantastic season for us. 33 and 39, 7 assists, 6 player of the matches. He's been absolutely phenomenal for us. not much more to say on that game, really. Koboa got man of the match, surprisingly, despite Kerry showing immenseness again, but there we go. And then the final game before today is Bury Town. They were not in this game at all. 6 shots, 0 on target, 10 fouls, 43% possession. They weren't in this game, and probably 2-0 did us an injustice a little bit. So as you can see, Honor Wigan is still playing. We did have Adams on the bench, and I did mean to bring him on for a bit of fitness in this, but he seems okay. I think he'll be alright to start maybe, or come off the bench in the next game. But Honor Wigan has been a very ample deputy. He got a goal in this one, an 8.4 rating and player of the match. Hasn't done that all the way through, but he's been fairly solid. Honor Wigan, made it 1-0 on 84 minutes actually. It was very, very late. We were bashing away, but we just couldn't get the goal. Normally I would worry that there was going to be a counter punch and we lose 1-0 or something like that. It didn't feel like that in this game. They weren't really doing anything. That doesn't mean to say it doesn't happen, but I never felt it in this game. Then Koroma did finally put the Demons to rest. He got a penalty in the 87th minute. But the big news is Koboa. He's out for the rest of the season. He's out for about 7 weeks, I think. Obviously, we've only got about 3 weeks left. 2 to 5 weeks. He's not going to return, which is very disappointing. He's been absolutely phenomenal for us this season as well. 15 goals, 15 assists, 7.45 average rating in 35 plus 3 sub appearances. He's been absolutely phenomenal for us. He's completed 30 crosses from 50 key passes in 38 appearances. I mean I think he's actually injured for them in real life at the moment. I've seen a few hashtags. I think it's like pray for Ricky and stuff like that. I've been trying to keep up a bit with what's going on with Carshalton, but it's been a bit tricky with Christmas and stuff like that. But I've seen a few hashtags and a few things floating around. I think he might have got a fairly serious injury, which has maybe put him out for a bit of time. But he'll be back for us next season, no doubt, and firing on all cylinders again. So after all those games, that leaves the table looking like this. So Jordan Kerry is top of the scoring table, 33. Theophanis has caught up on 31, and Koroma's on 31 as well. But Kerry has just been amazing. His average rating is soared. He's now there. Koboa's there. He's not going to be able to build on what he's got, but maybe the ones above him can, well, little anyway. Kingstonian can falter a little bit. Assists, Koboa might be lucky to hold on to that top spot, but Delaney's there as well. You've got Edwards at Merstham. Player of the match is Koboa. Again, he's not going to top that, but Koroma's there as well, as is this guy at Merstham. We're doing it all right, actually. We did actually just beat them. We've got no one in the clean sheets, obviously, and the yellow cards, we're not actually in there either. But in terms of the table, 39, 3 to go. We've played 26, drawn 9, lost 4. Not a bad record. It's literally that one win and sort of which they've drawn is the difference at the moment. So there's a 2-point gap. Obviously, we've got Margate today, who are 4th. I think that's who we've got. Who do we say we had? So our running is Margate, East Thurrock and Corinthian Casuals. Now, Margate, yes, they're 4th, so that's going to be a tough one. They're still battling for a playoff position. We've got East Thurrock, which should be 3 points, but we know how we get on about against these bottom teams. And Thurrock, I think, have been a bit stubborn against us in every time we played them. And then Corinthian Casuals, another team just above here. Whereas Kingstonian, Bishop Stortford, Corinthian Casuals and Greenwich Borough. So Greenwich Borough, I think, about mid-table. I forget who the other one was. Bishop Stortford and Corinthian Casuals. They got Corinthian Casuals like us who are down the bottom, and Bishop Stortford who are, I mean, all three of theirs are, you know, we've got, I mean, if you take Margate out of our equation, that's the only real difference we've got. We've got the real tough game, but we've got them at home, I think. So we'll jump into that game. We'll look at the starting lineup right now. So here are the lineups. A couple of changes, obviously, from what you saw in the last game. So Flavian Howard is coming at left midfield to replace the injured Koboa, and Honor Wigan is still starting in midfield. Dan Adams just isn't quite there sharpness-wise, so we're going to try and bring him on at some point, maybe the last 20-30 minutes of this game, just to get him some game time, get his freshness back up. We should have done that in the last game. He might have been able to start today. Unfortunately, we forgot to do that. I think with the game being a bit titchy as it was, I didn't want to bring on someone who was a bit unfit. I don't think we actually made any changes. It was a bit of a shocker, really. But we're gonna. I've been doing a few more passionate ones recently, and I think they've changed a little bit out. No, they haven't. I thought they might have changed because it's more of a title chase now, but it doesn't seem to have done. But they're all reacting very well, which is good to see. And Koroma kicks off, drops it back to Hancock. This is going to go nowhere any second now. There we go. We're going to change the match stats to the formation. They're played a 4-4-2 as well. And Bishop Stortford have taken the lead against Kingstonian, which is a massive, massive start and turn the score for us. Gives us a bit more breathing space. But at the moment, nothing is happening in this game. Not one highlight other than the kickoff. We're having the more chances. We've got the current scores there because I was keeping an eye on some of them on one game. I think it might be the last game, in fact. Because I think I saw a goal go in against Kingstonian, so I just wanted to keep an eye on. I think it was it was a game they lost, and I was just keeping an eye on it, and that did actually end up happening. I think they lost 2 or 3-0 in the end. But we got a chance here. Hancock comes forward, finds O'Connor. I was hoping he might take a pop because they seem to be a bit OP in the game at the moment. Shots from distance, even with long shots of about 8. As he finds one of Wigan, he's hit a few recently, but not this time. Over the bar. And Kerry, he's intercepted here, and this is where we're in a bit of trouble. We do get countered an awful lot. There we go, over the top. Counter and over the top ball combined into one Aggy highlight, but we get away with it. But it looks like we're going to go into half time at 0-0, which isn't great, considering the domination we seem to be showing a little bit in this in terms of possession and shots. But I'll take it with what's going on in the other game. Let's have a look. Is that still the case? Kingstonian. They are still losing 1-0 to Bishop Stortford, who I think need the result to ensure their safety still. So massive, massive performance from them. I'm going to say disappointed. Everyone seems motivated generally. But we're just going to keep an eye on that Bishop Stortford game over here. If we see any highlights, of course, because we didn't in the first half. And it's a throw in deep in their half. Hopefully if we can win it back here. No, it's another long ball over the top, as always. And the keeper makes a good save there. Just after half time, much needed. If we can get this corner away. We do. Can we counter with it? Kerry's got the pace. He should get there. He does. Can he? It's tackled. Unfortunately, he couldn't release the pass to Karoma. It's a free kick for them. We're seeing a lot more highlights this second half, and unfortunately, they do seem to be coming Margate's way. But they're wild long shots, which... did I just see an equaliser for Kingstonian there? I think I might have done. Now we're going to make some changes here. On of Wigan not having his usual impact on the team today, so we're going to bring Dan Adams in. I don't know if we've got anyone that can play particularly well on the left. We brought Levi Phillips in. He's a little bit unhappy, but we're going to bring him in for Flavian Howard, who isn't having the best game, and Jordan Kerry as well for Mike Dixon. Dixon hasn't had the impact off the bench that he has done at the start of the season. He's not scored for God knows how long since we brought him on, but he is a starting sub. He's a sub. He's not a starter. But if he can nick a late one here, we brought off Kerry this time rather than Karoma, despite Kerry's impressive season. Bishop Stortford have taken the lead back against Kingstonian. Kingstonian had equalised, but it's 2-1 to Bishop Stortford now, which, bearing in mind, don't say it, about to say we're drawing, and I thought they were about to score, but they fire it over. But bearing in mind we are drawing this game, them losing, it still puts us a little bit further ahead. I've done another shout of show some passion. I've done a few more, demand mores and show some passion. They're the ones that normally go in top corner. Not today, fortunately. About 3 minutes to go. Can we grab a late one? We're still on positive. I haven't dropped it back to cautious or even attacking yet. I'm not going to put it to attacking now, not with these last few minutes. We have a free kick. It's Papo. No, and that's the end of the game. That is 1-0, 0-0 rather, and I think Kingstonian did lose. I think it finished. I'm going to say disappointing, which is a bit harsh, but we should have won that. Well, I don't know. We possibly could have done more in that game. Kingstonian did lose 2-1, so that gap is now at 3 points. 2 games to go, so it keeps the drama in this episode. We know that 1 loss and 1 win for them. They've got a more superior goal difference, only by 2, so it doesn't take a lot, but we've got to be a bit careful. We've got East Thurrock next, who have just actually got a draw against Grimfin Casuals, they're safe. The bottom 3 are the bottom 3 going down, it looks like. I don't think even Harlow can get sucked back in, can they? No, they can't. So the 3, yes, we know East Thurrock they're dead and buried. They've been dead and buried since probably about October last year. So, where do we come back? I'm pretty sure it's East Thurrock next. I think a win. No, because even if Kingstonian win, there's still 3 points and a goal difference in it. So a win for us is much needed. We need to win. We need to basically level Kingstonians, level or better Kingstonians' results in the next game, and the next 2 really. Next East Thurrock will be the next episode. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please do drop a like. If you're new to the channel, please do drop a sub while you're here. Yeah, and any comments as well about the season, anything like that, let me know. All good. So until next episode, which I'm about to record straight away, I'm going to try and record all these three on the bounce so I can play through the off season and all that sort of stuff. Relatively stress free over the New Year's break. As obviously this episode will be coming out on the Monday, I think. Yeah, Monday, just before New Year. So if I don't, obviously I won't hear from me before. So I hope you all have a good New Year's Eve. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and I'll see you next episode. Take care.